Welcome to the Kingdom, guys. This is episode 7 of Royal Vision Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Matthew. Got another special guest today. So he's a point guard / shooting guard out of Pot State College. Been there the last 2 years. He's a first-team Region 20 Co-Player of the Year, and he's top 5 in scoring history at Pot State College. Graduated from Hedgesville High School. He's originally from Hagerstown, Maryland. So give it up for Cam Wilkes.
What's going on? What's going on?
Thanks for coming.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. So, you're a basketball player. What initially led you to play basketball?
I think my dad was the main person who led me to playing basketball. First, it was baseball. Baseball was my main sport.
Yeah.
And I found that sport to be my first love. That's when I started everything. That's when I started my sports career, really. And then it developed into basketball because I was much better at basketball than baseball. So then I just shifted all my focus to basketball as soon as middle school ended. And then, it was history from there.
Now, did you ever play football too, or just?
I did play football. I
Okay.
played football up until high school also. So I dropped baseball and football going into high school because then that 2020 year was the first COVID year.
Yeah.
And after that, it just went downhill for the two other sports because I couldn't get on the field or outdoors.
Now, so when you're playing baseball and football, what do you feel like you excelled at the best in those?
Football, I was a quarterback, so did it all. I mainly ran the ball. We didn't really throw in Pee Wee football. So,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then for the baseball aspect, I was a shortstop / pitcher. Pitching was my main thing, but I started having elbow problems going in high school, so I had to limit that and stick to basketball.
I got you. So you originally from Martinsburg.
Right.
So you played in Martinsburg Little League. Did you ever get any opportunities to play in the state tournament, play for state championships, anything like that?
My first year at Martinsburg High School, I was on JV, splitting varsity time a little bit. We went to the state tournament my first year. I saw the court for maybe 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Maybe 15 seconds. They told me to go in, try to get a shot up real quick, because we were down, I would say, 8 points. So that was my first, real go into the state tournament was my freshman year at Martinsburg.
Oh, so the one at Hedgesville wasn't your only time playing? Okay.
That was my second time. Yeah.
So was it your sophomore year or your freshman year that was the first touch of the state tournament?
Maybe it was my sophomore year, because my freshman year was one of the COVID years.
So it would have been 2021.
Yeah, it would have been 2021 is when I went to the state tournament.
All right. That's cool. I didn't realize that. So explain your experience at the state tournament. Both your both the first time and the second time.
The first time was more laid back. I was just happy to be there.
Yeah.
I wasn't really a key focus on the team. So obviously I would still study over the practice plans, the game plan or whatever we got going on. But then when it was Hedgesville, I was one of the main guys.
Yeah.
So I really had to be locked into everything and just shift my focus to only basketball in the state tournament. Had to take out all the outside factors, really.
So in that state tournament game with Hedgesville, you guys were almost favored to win, but I know it was a bit of a rough game. Walk me through the process of your mindset throughout that entire game.
I'd want to say the first half, it was going well.
Yeah.
We were in the game. Obviously, some players got into foul trouble quick, which didn't help as much.
Yeah.
And then towards the end of the second quarter, I rolled my ankle the last, I want to say 2 minutes in the quarter, and I re-sprained it. I had a torn ligament in my foot already, so I re-sprained that foot.
Yeah.
And I couldn't bring the ball up the second half. Obviously, I still made a slight impact shooting and stuff, but I think if I didn't sprain my ankle or re-roll my ankle in that second quarter, we would have definitely won that game for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I know that some of your key players, they weren't knocking out shots, a couple botched layups.
Right, yeah.
But
Stephon got in foul trouble really quick.
Yeah.
So he had 3 fouls maybe in the first quarter. So that was big too.
So early in your sport, early in your career, what do you feel were some of the defining moments?
I would say that's a good question. I would say
That at least shaped your mindset to how you approach the game.
I'd still say my dad's a big factor in all this. He built my mind. I take up after him in every aspect when it comes to the sport, mind, and however that works. So I would say I was really drilled into working hard every day, drilled into practicing like it's your last practice, practicing like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I would say my dad is the big factor in pushing me into that mindset, I'd say.
So did your dad play college basketball too?
He didn't. He played high school basketball, and he was a real good high school baseball player at Jefferson.
Okay.
So both of my parents didn't go to college, so I'm the first one.
That's cool. That's probably something to be proud of.
Yeah.
That's neat. So in what way do you feel like he has had the most impact on you?
I'd say coaching me as a kid.
Okay.
Like, he's literally, since I've been however small,
Yeah.
he's just built me up through that whole time. He's been my first coach, still coaches me till this day. I still work out with him almost every time I come back home.
Do you think there's anything that you've learned? What do you feel like the biggest lesson you've learned from him as a coach?
I'd say just trying to stay locked in during the games and during practice, trying not to have your mind wander off into other spaces, trying to keep a good headspace when you're on the court or doing whatever you're doing in life.
And for sure. And then so your upbringing and your environment. So you have your mom, your dad. How do you feel like that influenced the way you approach sports? And how do you think it influenced your mindset?
My mom is more she's just happy I'm out there playing.
Yeah.
Dad is the one who's, you got to do this to be whatever. So my mom's just in the background, like, always happy for what I'm doing. So I just got to be grateful for her. And grandma's also a big part of that. Another mom, she's second mom. So I'd say that, yeah.
So you've always had the, I don't want to say drill sergeant, but that like person in your ear, like, hey, you got to do this, and then the other, and then you got the other person that's, you know what, hey, proud of you, no matter what.
Happy you're there.
Yeah, that's good. So what do you feel like are some challenges that athletes commonly face early in their career?
Burnout. I'd say some kids, if you're really young, some kids suffer from burnout, which is if you're doing something too much at a young age, you can build a lot of stress. And then when you get up to the, say, middle school age, you're just done with it.
Yeah.
You don't want to really deal with the stress. You just want to be laid back and calm. So I'd say burnout is the main thing.
Have you personally ever had any of those experiences?
I would say midway through this year, I was in my head a lot, personal problems.
Yeah.
But I'd say I'd suffer from burnout just a little bit there, but then I got my little mojo back, so we good.
What about, so early in your career, did you ever suffer from burnout or?
No, not early in my career. I would say as soon as I got to college, because that's my first time alone.
Yeah.
I'm alone. No family around me, really. Obviously, I'm an hour away from here, but it's still, now I'm living on my own, doing everything I can on my own. So I'd say when I got to college, it was like, that was my first real time and suffrage from burnout, I would say.
I got you. Just like all this overwhelm just hit you at one time.
One time. And I didn't know what to do. But I talked to people, got my mind. Obviously, you're still going to have bad days, struggle, but you just got to keep going.
And how do you think your coaches helped you kind of transition from that, normal high school around everybody to?
They're very welcoming. I could call my coach right now and he'd pick up and we talk about whatever.
Yeah.
Literally anything. I'd say Coach Brady, my assistant coach, was my guy. He was more the one I would go and talk to if I need something or if I just need to talk. So I'd say they were very welcoming up at Potomac State, so I'm grateful for that.
Are they younger?
They were a real young coaching staff.
So do you feel like that makes like an easier impact and better influence on you then?
It does, because they know what I'm going through. They were probably suffering from the same things I were 3-4 years ago. So I'd say, yeah.
And were they the original coaches that recruited you initially?
They were, yes.
Okay.
That was their second year up there as a staff together, I believe. Yeah. That was their second year up there together.
How do you feel like, because you notice with the transfer portal and the just constant switching around, how do you feel like that's had an impact on relationships and with just in basketball and with chemistry and teams?
The portal is crazy. I think it messed a lot of things up for a lot of JUCO players, obviously, as you saw in the news or whatever.
Yeah.
As soon as teams ended in the tournament portal.
Yeah.
It kind of messes with a lot of JUCO players and a lot of high school players too, because they're taking their opportunities, scholarships, whatever. So I'd say that's a rough subject. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine it's touchy.
Yeah.
But how do you maintain a level head and keep a positive mindset despite dealing with transfers and like the potential of not getting that spot? Knowing
you always have a good support system. So meaning my family's always going to support me whether what I do, whatever I don't. So I think, and then obviously them leading me into talking to other coaches, my coaching staff, keeping me in touch with certain people. So I think knowing I'm going to have a home eventually
Yeah.
I think that's always kept me level-headed in a way.
So how does you talking about it's really messed with JUCO? So is that saying that hired like Division 3, Division 2, they'll jump down to JUCO, or
Possibly, but also like high D2s can just jump in the portal and then they can transfer to another D2. Say D2's talking to me,
yeah,
and somebody who's already had the experience at a D2 level,
yeah,
jumps in equivalent to me.
yeah?
Obviously, they're gonna want to go with the guy who's already had the experience.
I got.
So it's rough, but yeah, it's rough.
It's just trusting what's meant for you will find you, pretty much.
The coaching staff really wants me.
Yeah.
You know?
So how do you feel like personal experiences outside of sports affect the way an athlete competes?
I would say trying to balance the outside life and the sports life is you gotta try to level it out. Obviously, it's never gonna be the same. Obviously, you're gonna have more stress in the everyday life. You're still gonna have stress when it comes to basketball.
Yeah.
So I think just trying to find a way. Obviously, I'm still working to do that myself.
Yeah.
Still trying to find a way to balance everything out is it's work you got to do on your own, and you just got to figure it out how it goes.
So what have you done to start to move towards a balance or find a good balance?
Talking to therapists, talking to people. You got to get out there and talk to people. If you just sit in your room and you're stuck all day, you're not going to get anywhere. So
Yeah.
I think talking to people, getting out there, trying to get out your room, constantly do something, keeping your mind going is a big thing.
So what's your typical way to, let's say you've got practice and then you got classes. What do you do to wind down?
Obviously, you got to go to class. So I do all those things, go to class, and then typically I would go back to the room, chill for a little bit, try to, but if my mind starts going again, get out, go lift. Lifting, because when you lift, you can't really wander off.
There's no thinking.
Exactly, you got to pick the weight up or it's not going to move.
So do you consider yourself an overthinker?
Yeah, of course.
Where do you feel like your thoughts revolve around the most?
A little bit of everything. I could, like, anything you could think of, I think of.
Squirrel?
Yeah,
like squirrel
I
almost?
could just be on the court and I'm just wandering just anywhere. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
This episode of Royal Vision Podcast is sponsored by Trophies Plus here in Martinsburg, West Virginia. If you're looking for sublimated mugs, trophies, awards, or even embroidered hats, go to Trophies Plus in Martinsburg, West Virginia to go cop all those needs. What have you found? So when you're working out, what do you feel? What is it about exercising or being on the court that just puts you at peace?
When it comes to lifting, I think working out to build the best body for myself, the best health for myself is a main factor that pushes me. And then when it comes to basketball, I think just enjoying it with my friends.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, I'm on the court with my friends. We're going to go home. We're going to talk. We're going to play a game. So at the end of the day, I'm with my friends trying to find that peace because obviously they're probably struggling with the same things.
Have you always liked lifting?
Yeah. I have.
Have you really?
I have.
Okay. What's your favorite part about lifting? What do you like doing the most?
Like what?
Either what exercise or like what body part do you like? Chest? You're a bench guy?
Chest guy. I don't know why. I love benching. I love it. I could do it every day if I wanted to.
So walk me through your chest day.
Okay, so boom, get to the gym. Obviously, get the band, stretch out a little bit.
Yeah.
And then go to the bench, plate, boom, boom. And then you go up and weight, 3 sets, whatever. Then cable flies, dumbbell press. And then I also add a little triceps into it and arms just a little bit. And then I'll do dips and then just burn out with push-ups.
So you're just killing your chest.
Absolutely.
Now you do that once or twice a week?
Twice.
So that's what you hit the most?
Yeah, I'd say that's what I hit the most. I don't like saying this. I try to stay away from legs, but sometimes you just thug it out and do it.
I gotcha. So what do you feel like, what lessons have you learned from your past to help you succeed in both sports and in life?
Lessons have I learned from the past? I'd say when I was younger, I really didn't have the stress factor in my life. So I'd say trying to go back to the younger me in the mind, in a sense, to have that I don't care mentality or just play freely or live freely, do however you do. So I'd say trying to rewire my mind in a way to get back to the younger me in a sense.
What do you think has been the biggest stressor for you?
I just think staying away from family. Obviously, I've always been a mama's boy, grandma's boy.
Yeah.
So I'd say leaving them was obviously a big factor, and going up into Kaiser,
Yeah.
there's nothing.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing to do. There's a Sheetz, a Walmart, and a McDonald's.
Yeah.
That's all you got. So it's lift, gym, sleep, class. That's it. So I think getting away from the family was a little tough, but at the end of the day, you got to grow up.
Yeah, I get that. But it seems like you're finding ways to manage it better.
Yeah.
I think it's good that you're talking to people too.
Yeah.
What do they have, therapists on site
They
or?
have a therapist up at campus. I've never talked to her. I did talk to one back home.
Okay.
So I have stopped, but I can still find a way to contact somebody if I need to.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel like athletes develop a strong mental game, and why do you feel like a strong mental game is so important?
If you have a strong mental game, you're different. I think battling with yourself on the court is one of the toughest things ever. Finding a way to come down and be at peace when you're on the court is something crazy. There's something called the flow stage.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can somehow end up in the flow stage all game.
Absolutely.
That is top tier. That's good for you.
Have you ever been in that flow state?
Oh, yes. State tournament, I felt like I was in heaven.
Yeah.
It was lights are on me.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just everybody's watching me. You just go out and play the game you love.
So I feel like it comes from just detaching yourself from what's going on.
Yeah, detaching yourself from the outside world and trying to focus on one thing at a time, which is basketball.
Yeah. And what strategies do you feel like athletes use to stay focused and confident under pressure?
I'd say pregame, listening to music and trying to just always keep your mind going, but not in the sense where it's like, what am I doing after the game? What am I doing?
Yeah.
Right. Trying to just focus and just predict what's going to happen in the game in a good way. In a positive way.
Staying present.
Exactly. Trying to stay present in the moment.
So you talking about pregame. Do you have any pregame rituals or superstitions?
I don't, but if I do have a good game and a pair of shoes, those shoes will be worn the next game for sure.
Do you have a solid cycle to go through for
I
shoes?
got a decent little rotation. I got
Yeah.
Kobe 8s, the Aunt Pearls. The Sabrinas are my favorite shoes. Those are the shoes right there.
What color Sabrina's?
I got the neon green ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know why they're so light on my feet, and those are just my comfort shoes right there.
Okay. I've never worn a pair of Sabrina's.
Yeah.
I've always been a LeBron
I
person.
like the Sabrinas. LeBrons are heavy to me.
I get that. So, walk me through a typical game day for you. What's your from sun up to sundown?
Are we talking on a weekday or a weekend game?
We can do both.
Okay. On a weekday game, obviously go to class in the morning. Class typically ends for me at, let's say, 11:15 on Monday. I would then go get treatment at our physical trainer area or whatever. Then I would go back to the room, probably eat, nap, wake up at about 3 because normally we play at 7, but it fluctuates between the girls' games because sometimes they get the late game, sometimes we get the early game.
Okay.
So I wake up at 3 no matter what. Then I go down, eat more, go back to Korea, do whatever I got to do, cupping, icing, whatever. And then watch the girls' game if they play before us. And then we go to our locker room at halftime. Or if we're playing at the 5 o'clock game, hit the locker room about 4 o'clock, shoot around until game time.
Simple.
Yep, simple.
Nothing much to it.
Not much to it.
So, do you have a go-to like playlist you listen to before the game?
Drake.
Just straight Drake.
It's just Drake. I got a Drake playlist and it's just Drake. You just shuffle it and I got every song down to a T.
You can just recite it. Like,
That's it. Yeah. Just Drake.
is it just put you in that Zen mode?
Yeah, it just locks me in. Because obviously, I don't want to listen to the hard rap. Because then that could
Like Meek Mill or something?
Meek Mill, I can get down with a couple songs with him.
Okay.
But I'm saying the young people who are rapping now, what they talk about. I think that can wander your mind off a little bit. So I think Drake keeps a steady flow. He keeps you mellow. Like,
He kind of talks about real stuff.
talks about real life. Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, so I think Drake is my go-to guy, always.
So, how do you feel like athletes build resilience after tough losses or setbacks?
I think knowing that you're going to play again is a big thing. Obviously, you're not going to have a good game every game.
Yeah.
It's quite literally impossible. Even the best players in the world don't have good games every game. So I think getting back into the gym, getting the right treatment after the games is always good. Try to keep the same after-game rituals going or whatever. So I think knowing you're going to play again is a big thing.
So you talk about treatment a lot. Have you always been big into recovery and treatment?
I really haven't. I really didn't have access to that as much in high school as I do now.
Uh-huh.
So, typically I try to get in with her every day if I can. If I got say a slight bruise or something's going to get on it, something's going to try to help it. So I think just trying to treat everything properly is the best way.
Do you feel like you've seen a boost in your performance just from using treatment?
I have 100%. The cupping factor, I really don't know what it does, but I enjoy it. It's good to me. It fixes me up somehow. But the KT tape aspect helps also. Obviously, I've always had bad ankles, so whatever she does in my ankles, it
works.
So, yeah.
Hey, that's good. Have you had any moments where you've had a setback, like an injury, or like you've been out for a couple games?
No, I didn't sit out. Of course, I was supposed to sit out a game.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting out any games, any practices. I try to just push through it or whatever, because off season's when you rest, in my opinion. So my hand, currently, I have a broken bone in my hand. So you just tape the fingers up, wrap the hand up, and play.
Which?
My shooting hand, my pinky.
It's your pinky?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
We were playing Montgomery, the number 12 team ranked in the country at the time.
Yeah.
We beat them by 20. I would say it was like the second half, probably 2 minutes left. I swiped down at the ball, and I don't know what I did to it, but like I just thought it was jammed at the point. But after the game, I was like, something ain't right with my hand. So I got an x-ray later that night, slight fracture in my finger, in my hand. It's not even in my finger, it's in my hand, though. It's tough. There's not really...
Oh, so it's in one of the metacarpal.
Yeah, exactly.
It's right here.
Yeah, it's right there. And then sometimes it like shocks my whole hand. So
your hand will go
I'm
numb?
Constantly doing this on the court, trying to get the feeling back. So I would say that's a setback, but there's nothing to complain about.
Yeah.
I still did my thing.
You didn't let it stop you. You're just like,
not.
the mind over matter, honestly.
Exactly.
So what role does self-talk and internal dialogue play in your performance?
I'm always talking to myself on the court, constantly trying to put myself in that at peace stage, talking to myself just like, you're good, like, what's there to stress about? You're on the court, you're doing what you love.
Yeah.
There's nothing to be worried about. The outside world is what's going on outside, be present kind of thing.
So what do you feel like, what words or what phrases do you use the most to get yourself, let's say you've missed a couple shots in a row, to get yourself back?
Keep shooting. I try to think of other games in the past where I've had rough starts, turned it around. Garrett. We played Garrett in the first round of the Region 20 playoffs, and I got in foul trouble quick. Never been in foul trouble the whole year. Had 3 quick fouls in the first half, and then I was down at halftime, but I knew I had to do something if we wanted to do in this game. So I came back out, had 25 in the second half. Kind of just brought myself to peace.
So you pretty much you brought a past good experience to the present to just remove the cloud so that you could just focus.
Exactly. That's exactly what I do. Try to even if I'm thinking about a high school game, a high school moment, think about that. Try to block all the bad clouds, you would say, and just play basketball. Yeah.
So have you always been somebody to do that, or did you learn that from like a mentor or a coach?
I learned that going into high school, because when it was not going into high school, going into college, because when it was in high school, I was always in that flow stage. So I'm playing, all my friends are watching me.
Yeah.
The kids I see every day.
Yeah.
When it comes to college, I don't know these kids really.
Yeah.
It's just whoever comes, people in the community. I don't have a relationship with the people in the community there as much as I do here. So I'd say it started going into college, and I talked to my therapist, and self-talk was a big thing.
And it's working out. Exactly. I think you ended up averaging, 24 this season?
24 points a game. Yep.
Yeah, that's solid. Plus you had, I think, 6 rebounds, a couple assists?
Yep, 6 rebounds, 4 assists.
Yeah. So how do athletes manage the highs and lows of competition without losing focus?
How do you manage the highs and lows? Trying to think as highly as possible every time. Trying not to think of the lows is a big thing. Trying to just keep the high, what's the word I'm looking for?
Highs in focus?
Yeah, highs in focus. Trying not to bring yourself down constantly. So I would say that, I guess.
So emphasizing the highs while still keeping...
Realizing the lows are there, but trying to just manage it. And just keep thinking of the highs. Because then eventually the lows are just going to disappear.
Yeah.
So
just putting your focus on the highs, like acknowledging that the lows are there, but those aren't what define you. It's the high moments.
Exactly.
So that's good. What are some mental habits that separate the best athletes from the rest?
I'd say talk to somebody. I keep praising that. But talking to somebody, keeping your mind right is obviously the best thing you can do for yourself. Sinking yourself in bad thoughts every day, constantly, it's going to sink you in a hole.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hard to come out, but eventually you're going to come out the hole, and it's going to be good at the end of the day. It's life.
So you think like having a mentor, like a personal life coach is a really big thing?
I think that's a big thing. And I'm going to continue to try to preach that whenever the time comes. I'm going to always try to have a therapist on hand. I need one. Always talk to somebody when I need to talk to somebody. Yeah.
That's good. So what are some common mental challenges that athletes face throughout their career?
Falling out of love with the sport is a big thing. I know a lot of people, maybe it comes to the coaching staff. Like, maybe the coaches aren't playing as much as you should be playing, aren't treating you equally as other players. So I think coaching is a big thing, that they can try to take the love out of the game for you at the end of the day. Yeah.
Have you ever had moments where you fell out of love with the game or any sport that you played?
I wouldn't say maybe for the day. It's not something I pondered on the whole time. Maybe for a day or so. Do I really want to do this today, kind of thing. So I would say, like, sometimes practices aren't as serious as they should be.
Yeah.
Like, we're joking around, coming in late. Obviously, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Then, like, I think your coaches need to tell you, like, yo, be here on time, or you're going to run. Like,
Yeah.
You can't just come in 20 minutes late on your phone in slides.
Yeah.
Not ready to practice. It's practice. We got the court for 2 hours. Let's get it done. Get out.
So one of those. So you've only really had moments where it's I'm not trying to be here today. I'm gonna show up anyways.
Exactly, yeah, because the team needs you at the end of the day. So, like, and at Potomac State, we had roughly 10, 11 players, mainly the whole year, due to people quitting, flunking off, whatever the situation may be. So you have to be at practice, or you're uneven. You got coaches running up and down with you, and you don't want to play coach. It just don't make no sense. You're not playing them in the game.
Yeah.
So I think getting the good repetition is a big thing.
How do you feel like? What was the biggest difference you saw between high school and JUCO?
Practice-wise?
I know your practices were a little bit different because I know you went to Hedgesville, so I know practices at Hedgesville are different from JUCO. But what's practice-wise, atmosphere-wise?
Practice-wise, Hedgesville. Oof. Practices at Hedgesville are intense.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. Even if it's when it comes down to the sticks. 6 people on the court, they got sticks, so they're now 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
The Hedgesville practices shaped me to be who I am.
Yeah.
Going into the college practices and the college atmosphere. So, yeah, I'd say Hedgesville's practices are intense and fun.
So what's your college experience of practice been?
It's more kind of laid back. It's not as intense as Hedgesville. Sometimes you get those intense things, like when we're scrimmaging, we're like, oh yeah, we're scrimmaging, let's go, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to the small things like boxing out, Coach Church emphasizes boxing out.
Yeah.
Put the thing on the rim.
Yeah, you put the bubble.
Ball goes anywhere.
Yeah.
When it comes to college, it's, dang, we got to box out today. Like, we really got to do this right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm the one like, yeah, it's like, we got to box out. We're not getting rebounds.
Yeah.
They're averaging 8 to 10 offensive rebounds a game. Like, we got to box out.
Yeah.
So.
With Coach Church's practice, you might box out for an hour and a half. And you still got another. But it ends up working out in the end.
At the end of the day,
It always works out. Yeah. So you can't even be mad at him. So how do you feel like athletes navigate self-doubt and stay mentally strong under pressure?
As long as you have a good support system, I can only speak from that because I have a good support system. I think if you have a good support system, it's big because then they're like the ones like, you're good. Say you got crowds talking to you, whatever. Yeah. You got your parents in the section, like you just give them the look and they know.
Yeah.
You're good. Just lock in. You're good. Don't worry about the outside people. Just focus.
So what experiences with external pressure have you dealt with, like on the court, off the court? Social media, I know, is a big one.
Yeah. When it comes to high school, student sections were on me.
Yeah.
Because I was...
Yeah, you're the guy.
Yeah, exactly. I was the main guy. And I'm walking into the games. We're not even on the court yet. I'm there, like, just chirping, blah, 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 whatever they may say. I'm not going to say too much on that.
Yeah.
But whatever they may say, just trying to stay focused.
I know it's a little bit harder for you because you transfer schools. Exactly. So then that creates even more.
Exactly. When we play Martinsburg, it's
yeah.
like, he's a traitor. Whatever the situation may be.
Yeah.
So it's tough, but that's what comes with the sport. That's
yeah.
what you signed up for at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's what you signed up for.
Has there ever been moments where you were like it got to you, but you just pushed it away?
I'm trying to think of a game. Spring Mills was always a tough spot to play at. For some reason, something's wrong with those hoops out there.
At Spring Mills?
The ball doesn't go in the hoop sometimes. And there's nothing you can do about it. So I say Spring Mills gets to me the most because I go into the game, jump ball on face guard.
Yeah.
There's no breathing room
yeah.
rip. So it's like trying to just breathe in a way and just hopefully things pan out.
Plus they have their ESPN thing too.
Yeah.
I think they went away from it recently, but they're all decked out in their suits and ties. They're screaming at you.
Just the whole game. I don't know how they have that much energy, but they got it. Kudos to them.
Yeah. Are they the ones that they had a cut out of your face, didn't they?
That was Musselman.
Musselman? Okay.
Yeah, Musselman got me with that one.
But that's an honor though, isn't it? Depending on how you want to put it.
In a way. When we played Musselman, I want to say it was our second year. My senior year to go to the state tournament, I think it was because we did beat Spring Mills and then we played. Yeah, so we played Musselman and I took a picture with the guys at the end of the game. So
yeah,
it's a cool thing. Like at the end of the day, we're gonna be cool people. Like y'all don't hate me, y'all just hate me because I'm on other teams. So, yeah.
So how can athletes recognize and reframe thoughts that might be limiting their potential?
Say that again.
How do athletes recognize and reframe thoughts that might be limiting their potential?
I'd still say thinking about the highs and limiting the lows at the end of the day. It's gonna be tough. Every game's not gonna be perfect. You just gotta push through and just if you're a shooter, keep shooting. Like the ball's gonna go in eventually. If it's not that game, it's gonna be the next game. You just keep shooting at the end of the day. Yeah.
Have there ever been moments where you've been cycling through negative thought after negative thought and then you recognized it and reframed it?
Yeah, I'd say when I'm playing bad, obviously the negative thoughts are going to come up more and more. So I think, say I'm missing shots constantly. If I get to the hoop, get a layup, get a foul, get free throws, and I see the ball go in the hoop, I'm like, okay, the ball can go in the hoop. So now it's going to start going in the hoop. And I think just trying to go back to your practice, go back to what you're good at, and just focusing.
So what are some of the biggest mindset shifts that lead to long-term success in sports?
Say that again?
What are some of the biggest mindset shifts that lead to long-term success in sports?
Knowing your full potential. If you put in the work off the court, it's going to translate on the court. If you don't do certain things, if you don't shoot the ball when you try to go in the game and shoot, it's just not going to work. There's just no way. So I think refraining back to practice, thinking about what you do off the court in your sport is a big thing. So I think, I'd say that.
And how do you keep other people's limitations separate from what you know to be true for yourself? Meaning, so a lot of times we hear outside noise like, hey, he can only do this, he can only do that, he can't do that. How do you separate yourself from what is there?
What they think of me?
Yeah, and recognize what you're capable of.
Show them all I can do. Sometimes some teams force me for some reason. I'm right-handed.
Yeah.
They know I like to go left more. I like to use my left hand as much as possible. So I think showing them that I can one dribble pull up to the right.
Yeah.
Off the rip. Like, you can't force me one way now because I feel good now. Like, the ball's going to go in the hoop. I continue to do this all game. So I think showing them your whole arsenal in a way is big. And yeah.
And what are some key habits or strategies athletes use to build confidence and build resilience?
Confidence comes from maybe at home, like your parents just pushing you constantly, telling you, not even telling you you're good in a way, but like telling you your potential.
Yeah.
You can be this good if you just work. You just have to continue working. You're going to be great one day. And whatever you do, whether that's real estate.
Yeah.
Just go do what you want to do, what you love, and we're going to continue to push you to be the best.
How do you feel like you keep an athlete would keep their worth or their value separate from what it is they're achieving?
Say that again.
How do athletes keep their worth and their value separate from what it is that they're achieving?
I don't know how to answer that question.
So, one thing that I've recognized is that we tend to base if we're good enough or not off of what it is that we're doing instead of just
Right.
who we are. So, how do you feel an athlete would keep that separate?
So I think going back to the practice thing, I think just constantly drilling yourself, knowing you put in the work, like constantly telling yourself like you do this every day. Say you miss a layup, you make 100 layups a day, 200
Yeah.
layups a day. Like it's gonna go in. It was just a say bad spin on the ball,
Yeah.
contest. Like things happen. The ball's not always gonna find its way in the hoop. You just gotta reframe back to your work, and it's gonna turn around.
So, just remembering who you are.
Just remembering who you are, like yeah.
Recognizing that I missed that one layup, but what about the 3,000 I've made that got me to this point?
Exactly.
Or I missed two threes in a row. What about the 5,000 that got me the school record or something like that? So, how do you feel like an athlete's belief system shapes their ability to perform on the court?
And are we saying in spiritual in a sense?
No, not in religion sense. And so like a belief system is something, it's everything you tell yourself repeatedly, and until eventually it becomes either just like a belief where it's where you do whatever, that's where you act from, or it's like a conviction where it's like, that's who you are.
I think drilling yourself with saying like you're good over and over, telling yourself you're good, you're gonna turn out to be good.
Yeah.
If you let yourself get to the negative thoughts and say, how long am I gonna be in this mindset? How long am I gonna be here? How long am I gonna be on this low? Like I think just telling yourself like you're gonna be good at the end of the day. You're gonna go to sleep. You're gonna wake up. Like it's just telling yourself you're good every day.
So just focus or putting your energy where your focus goes, your energy will flow.
Exactly.
So just putting all your focus towards the positives. That way, that's all you're focusing on.
Trying to limit the negatives. You're gonna have negatives in life.
Yeah.
It's life.
Yeah.
It happens.
So how do athletes, especially so you for example, balance their sport with your personal life and your identity outside of competition?
That's hard because I think I'm known as a basketball player.
Yeah.
People know me as a basketball player. Say I go to the Commons and
Yeah.
yo, is that Cam Wilkes from Hedgesville?
Yeah.
Like they know me as a basketball player, and which I'm more than a basketball player.
Yeah.
To know me, but sometimes you just gotta. Yeah, I'm a basketball player. That's me.
Yeah.
That's my life.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do with my life. That's the plan. Is to be a basketball player as long as I can. So it's hard, but you just gotta deal with it. It's hard to say, but you gotta deal with it.
You're ready to feel like a king, feel like a queen, and wear that crown. Go copy your Kingdom merch. We got gym tank tops, t-shirts, got sweatshirts. All that you can personalize and make them about you. You can put your name on it, your initials, favorite Bible verse, something that means something to you so that you can truly wear the crown. I appreciate you guys. Yeah. So how do you feel like you're able to emphasize and not necessarily prove, but just put an emphasis on, hey, I'm more than just the person you see out there on the court?
It's hard to do if somebody really doesn't know me as well other than just seeing me on the court. But like my friends, like I'm more than a basketball player. I like going outdoors. I like staying out, keeping my mind going, as I said, just constantly doing things. Like I'm texting my friends constantly, yo, what you trying to do?
Yeah.
Let's get out the house. I'm not trying to be in here all day. I can't. I like playing games. It's more than just basketball. But I coach now.
Do you really?
I do. I coach.
At South?
No, Hustle. He has a whole program now. Somehow he started up quick.
Hey, that's cool. That's
1
good.
year. So I'll end up taking over the 15U team midway through the summer. So I think basketball is always going to be me. Like, it's going to be me, basketball, boom. So I think, it's hard because basketball is my life. So it's like I'm fine with being, yo, is that Cam the basketball player? Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Do you ever see yourself stepping away from the game, or that'll always be your focus? It'll always be a part of your life.
I think it'll always be a focus. I want to coach. If basketball doesn't work, say, God forbid, I injure something, tear an ACL. You never know what happens.
Yeah.
I think I always want to stay in the coaching, basketball, whether that's even baseball, like in the sports world, I would say.
So you want to make an impact in sports, like long term.
Exactly.
Could you ever see yourself being like on the media standpoint, or just probably always some part of the coaching?
I wouldn't mind a media standpoint, like a broadcaster in a sense.
Yeah.
But I'd say coaching is more because I know a lot.
Yeah.
My dad has drilled it in me. Like, I've had great coaches in the past, Coach Church. Like, I think coaching is the way if the player aspect doesn't work out.
So what's that kind of been like? I don't think you've gotten a little bit of an experience to coach, but what's your experience been to give it back to younger kids?
I think just seeing them happy.
Uh-huh.
Like, just seeing them smile. Like, they're trying to get out the house and just have fun. Like, we go to Orchard View every now and then, and we get the little kids, 9Us. So those are the kids who a little crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's fun. They're happy. As long as they're smiling, I'm happy. That removes all my thoughts. Like, just helping other people, helping the little kids, showing them what I know, because I'm not going to say it's right, but I know some things.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think just seeing them happy, and that's the main thing, just seeing them smile. It just brightens my whole day up.
And how do you separate the, hey, we got to work hard, hey, we got to do this, but also maintain that fun aspect so they're not miserable while they're at practice?
We're talking about the little 9U kids?
Any of the kids. Any of the kids.
I like the 9U kids a lot. I don't know why, but funny.
Yeah.
Like, things they say, they don't know what
They
say.
they don't have a filter.
They're just in a cloud, just
Yeah.
living. So I think just obviously they know when to work. Obviously they're gonna wander off sometimes, look at mom and do whatever they need to do. So I think just telling them, like, constantly drilling it into them. We gotta come on, right hand ball, left hand ball pound. Let's go. Like me, I'm constantly working with them. So I'm not just telling them, like, all right, do right hand ball pounds. They're like, and then I'm constantly, like, with them, going down the court the whole time. Come on, let's go, eyes up, holding numbers up. So it's good for me too, because it's giving me the experience, the coaching feel, and I'm still working out.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's all good.
And how do you feel like you've created like a positive, uplifting environment for them, one that helps them grow and doesn't feel like you're shrinking them in any way?
Constantly telling them, like, you could be something one day. If you want to be something in this sport, keep working, keep coming to practice, try to focus. They're not going to focus.
Yeah, they'll have their moments.
They're going to have their moments. So, like, just constantly telling them, like, focus, let's go, come on, you can do this, you're good. So I think just giving them positive feedback is big. Obviously, you got to throw a little negative in there, because you're not going to tell them, like, oh, you're going to be the greatest ever. But, like, just telling them, like, you're good, let's go. So,
has there been a moment that stood out to you the most where you've...
I'd say the first practice, I wouldn't say I ran it, but, like, the first time I saw the kids, they were like, oh, shoot half court, go shoot three. They can't get it up there. So So me and my dad are, like, the only ones who can get it up there.
Yeah.
So obviously they're going to come to me because they see the shirt, college.
Yeah.
Like, how old are you? I'm like, okay, I'll shoot a half court for you. So it's fun. Like, as long as they're happy, I'm good.
So what impact do you feel like athletes have beyond their sport, and how can you use your platform effectively?
Are we talking about in a social media way?
It could be a social media aspect. It can just be like a social, like global aspect.
I think, so are you talking about how basketball isn't their only thing in a way? Like,
so like the impact you have not only on the court, but how you impact off the court.
I think getting into the community is big. If you go to church, which I need to get back into, but if you go to church, like getting into the youth groups, constantly going when they have events, or like even if it's going to the carnival, like just get out. Like, you don't want your whole personality to be, I'm basketball, but sometimes it is what it is. That's me. I'm basketball at the end of the day. So
do you feel like you have a bigger influence because of your athletic platform?
I do, because some kids come up to me like, yo, can you work me out? Like, can we go work out sometime? I'm like, yeah, get my contact, boom, boom. Like, this summer I'm going to be working kids out. So I think it's a plus and a negative, but I take it as the plus, trying to limit the lows. So,
For sure. So how do athletes, I don't think you have any plan of slowing down anytime soon, but how do you feel like athletes prepare for life after sports, and what challenges do you feel like will come with that transition?
I think waking up knowing you don't have practice the next day, it's like a summer thing. So, like, me waking up like, dang, I ain't got no practice today. I gotta go work out or something.
Yeah.
So I think, life after basketball is going to be tough, but I think I'm always going to be in the atmosphere, and I'm always going to be like a coach or a broadcaster, like I said. So I think just it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard.
What can you do? So, what do you feel like your purpose is? Probably through your tool's probably basketball, but what do you feel like your purpose would be to ignite and not feel like you're missing that piece of you after playing sports?
Just constantly being around it. Like, obviously, everybody wants children. Bringing up your children in a sports world, showing them what you do. I think constantly having, like, old clips of you is going to be a big thing. So I think just constantly reminding yourself, like, yeah, like, you play basketball, but it's over. You gotta deal with it. Because when you get old, you're not going to be able to play basketball no more. Like, it's going to be hard. Like, when you get to the upper age of 60, whatever, it's going to be hard to play basketball. So I think just remembering, they're memories. You're building memories. That's what life is. You build memories.
I know. There's some of those, like, I think Shaq just dunked the other day.
Yeah, see?
So, and he's almost 60.
Yeah.
He's doing solid, though.
Yeah.
So, for you, beyond just winning championships, what does long-term success look like for you?
Just building the best body and mind for yourself. Like, championships, it's a medal.
Yeah.
There's another season. There's going to be another champion. So I think just building the best you is a big thing, whether that's the mental aspect or the body aspect. So I think constantly taking care of yourself is big.
So finally, like, putting an emphasis on your personal growth outside of your achievements?
Yeah, obviously enjoy the achievements. So
Yeah.
if you win a championship, yeah, go have fun.
Yeah.
But when the next season starts, like, that's out the door.
Yeah.
Yes, y'all are the champions, but there's going to be a new champion. Or if y'all do it again, congrats. There's another season. Yeah.
How do you feel like you've put an emphasis on growth, or how do you feel like somebody could put an emphasis on growing over just striving for achievements?
Say that again.
How do you feel like somebody would emphasize growth over the destination? So eliminating, not focusing so much on the ultimate destination or achievements, but focusing on the growth throughout the process. Yeah.
I think the small things are what is going to, if you want to win the championship, you have to do the little things. Like, whether that's boxing out every day in practice, not every day in practice, but defensive slides, like, those are little things you have to do to win championships. So you have to preach the little things because they're big things at the end of the day. They're huge things. Preaching the small things will get you to your ultimate goal.
Is there a moment for you personally where you either an aha moment or you're just like, you know what, I've came a long way or I've grown a lot?
Yeah, I think realizing, like, I'm finishing my 2 years at college.
Yeah.
I went into college like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Like, I don't know what's going on. I just finished 2 years of college. First person in my family to do it. So I think that's something to be proud of. And I'm going to enjoy it. And my family's going to be happy for me. My mom, dad.
Yeah.
So I think just, yeah.
Because you'll have your associate's degree, right?
I will. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to another school. And we're back at it. Starting all over.
So now, last time I talked to you, I know you had, I think, 2 or 3 offers, Division II.
Yep.
What are you looking for in a school?
Just a family atmosphere. Something, like, I feel comfortable in. Like, that's a big thing. Like, when I went to Kaiser, I didn't visit Kaiser, so it was new. Like, the first day was like, dang, like, this is a lot. Not even a lot. But so now going to a D2 school, like, I think just a comfort thing is going to be big. Obviously, all offers are going to be different. So whichever's the best one at the end of the day is going to ultimately where I'm going. So I think just as long as I'm comfortable there, knowing my family supports it, I'll be good.
And is there like a distance that you're comfortable with, uncomfortable with?
No, I'm cool. I'm pretty much cool with going anywhere. Obviously, I don't want to be on the West Coast. That's a little too far. Like, I don't want to have to fly back home. Like, drivable distance, like, I think 6-7 hours is cool. That's drivable for me. So I'd say 6-7 hours is probably my range. So I'm cool with that. Yeah. Nothing on the West Coast. I don't want to go out there.
Nothing on the West Coast?
Nah, not yet. Not yet.
Have you ever been to the West Coast?
No. I've not. Farthest I've been was Florida, and that was with Hedgesville. So.
Oh, your senior year, right?
Yeah.
So, did you ever you played AAU before, right?
I did. Yeah.
So, where was your favorite place to travel in AAU?
AAU, I'd say Pittsburgh. Like, I really didn't go far. I really wasn't a big. Like, I didn't really care for the EYBL things or the going way out there to try to get noticed or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I knew where I was going at the end of the day. So I think just getting out there, I'd say Pittsburgh, Baltimore, maybe the farthest I went. So
I was like no more than like maybe 2.5, 3
no
hours.
more than 2.5 hours, because then that's my parents having to drive all that way and more money that we don't need to spend.
I got you.
You know where I'm going.
So, how do athletes define their legacy, and what do you personally want to be remembered for?
As a good person. That's what the whole thing is. I just think being a good person, being a big person in the community, whether that's going out, showing your face, wherever that may be. If you see somebody in public saying, "What's up? Like, you good? How you been?" That's a big thing. Just being a good person is the main thing I strive to be at the end of the day, because basketball is going to end. So I think just being a good person is always the best option.
And how do you, because with basketball, sometimes you have that, kind of like Coach Church has his persona on the court and persona off the court. How do you keep that persona, that Cam persona off on the court, separate from your off the court personality?
I think it's the same. I hate to say it, but I am cocky. I'm a cocky person. So I think me off the court and me on the court is similar in a way. So I think it's just me. Like,
yeah.
I can't really change the cockiness in me. I wouldn't say cocky, it's confidence.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just confident in everything I do. Like, whether that's, say I try a new job, say I'm welding, I'm going to think,
I can do this.
Yeah. Like, this is going to get done somehow, some way. It's going to get done. And that's just confidence, in my opinion. I don't portray that as cocky.
Cockiness is more, I think I'm better than you. I think I have more value than you.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with being like, nah, I can do this. I know who I am. I'm more than capable of doing this.
That's what I do. But on the court, I would say I have a more cocky behavior. So I think confidence off the court, cocky on the court. Like, when I'm on the court, I'm like, okay, you can't guard me. Like, this is done.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd say it's cocky on the court, confidence off the court.
And even on the court, I wouldn't even say that it's so much cocky. It's just like, you just know that you're better than them.
Exactly. This is the work.
Like, I don't need to prove to you that I'm better. I just know that I am.
Like, I do this.
Yeah.
So we about to see. So, yeah.
So for the next generation of athletes, maybe even your 9U kids, what advice would you give to those athletes that are striving for maybe playing college or want to play overseas, playing professional?
It's not going to stop. Like, people are going to get up every day. If you don't work one day, somebody else is working. Like, somebody else is going to be constantly working. So you need to get up every day, put in the work, whether that's running, do something athletic in my opinion.
How do you feel like you'll be able to balance that everyday thing? I always preach exercise every day, even if it's only 45 minutes.
Exactly.
Move something every day.
Like, don't lay in the bed all day.
Yeah.
Obviously, sometimes
you got to rest.
You have those days.
Yeah.
Like, you have those days, but the next day, make sure you're going hard to make up for that rest day. You need to exercise every day, in my opinion. Keep preaching that, please.
Do you have a streak of exercises?
Yeah, I have a lifting plan or whatever. I run, so I do what I got.
I'm like, when was the last time you took a day off from exercising?
Sunday. I normally take Sunday's normally the off day.
Okay.
Like, I still try to do something, like, even if it's 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups, like, just do something. I don't deem push-ups as a exercise constantly every day, so I deem that as my rest day. I just think doing something small is cool.
Yeah. I feel like push-ups, I mean, I do it for my live. Push-ups are big. I don't think people realize how big push-ups are. And you can do different variations of push-ups.
You can do wide, diamond.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot.
And if you want to grow your chest or get some chest definition, do push-ups.
Exactly.
Do push-ups.
Exactly. And I think me doing push-ups every day adds the chest thing.
Plus the bench, killing your bench 2 times a week, so I get it. Yeah. All right, well, that's all the time we have, guys. Cam, you want to say anything to the Kingdom before we head out?
I appreciate you for having me here.
Yeah, thank you. So, guys, this has been episode 7, Royal Vision Podcast. Cam Wilkes, Coach Matthew. Peace out. Love you guys.